Hello, hello. Hey there. Hey there, hey there, hey there. Okay, so, oh, hi there. I want to talk about the title. Do not turn your back on the Holy Spirit. And I'm talking about for those who were once, I don't know if you were Christians or just a person who was, had a relationship with the Most High or whatever it was. But I noticed there's a big message, especially, I'm not going to say especially, but there's a big message going around, especially amongst other brown women and brown people in general. But a lot of brown women lately have been talking against the Bible, Christianity. Now, I get that. I get it. Let me tell you why I get it. Because the church has gotten very weak. The church has gotten very weak. And to be honest with you, everything has been told in reverse. Okay? Uh, I think people are going to soon find out what the Messiah and who the Messiah really is. And it's not who people who think it is. But I'm going to be honest with you. That's not even that important to know what something looks like. I want to say that's not that important to focus, because what's going to happen is you'll get into debates, about what a Messiah looks like and what supposed gender it might be. And you get into debates about that. So I would say not to worry about it, to keep from having a debate. But I can get why some women, brown women especially, because I'm kind of focused on brown women right now, because they're the main ones that do not need to turn their back on the Holy Spirit. They turn their back on the Holy Spirit and they turn it to ancestors. Ain't nothing wrong. I'm not trying to criticize the ancestors, but to be honest with you, your ancestors should be crossed over. The fact that ancestors might not be crossed over and they're at a level where they're not above the firmament. So with this being a simulation, for me, I don't want to get too much into ancestors, knowing that this is a simulation. But you do have a spirit. Uh, but like I listened to another woman talk too. Brown women are the spirit. I'm not saying nobody else have a spirit too, but I think most of us know. I mean, I've heard other groups of people too, other races talk about brown women are spiritual. That was supposed to be a good quality for brown women. Brown women were spiritual. Uh, and so it seems like now there is a push for some brown women on social media to turn other brown women away from when you turn them away from the Bible. Because a lot of brown women in this particular time was introduced to the Holy Spirit by the Bible. Okay. A lot of things have been changed, because when you get lower in consciousness, a lot of information is changed. And so you have to get into a level of enlightenment to remember what you once forgotten. But everything is still in your cellular memory, it's still in your subconscious, right? It's not in your conscious mind, but it's in your subconscious once you tap in. But with that being said, with this being a patriarchy, I still say that brown women should. It's not a good idea to turn loose the Bible, and it's certainly not a good idea to turn loose the Holy Spirit. Well, I heard one person tell the truth. The Holy Spirit, some people might disagree, is feminine. The Holy Spirit is feminine. So for brown women to turn away from the Holy Spirit, it's almost like they turning away from themselves. They turn away from themselves. Okay. Um, and listen, I'm not against AI at all. I still use GPS and all of that. But I hear some brown women telling other brown women what they need to leave alone. Yet when they need information, they go to Chat GPT. So you, another woman, another brown woman who believes in the Holy Spirit and believes in the blood, they're supposed to be mentally ill. But when you need an answer to your questions, you go to Chat GPT. Now, I'm not trying to judge anybody who use Chat GPT, but I think we need to think about this for a minute. Because brown women are being turned away from really who they are. If they could just recognize that this is really who they are, it's just been reversed where you looking at a man. And it's just the truth, it's the truth. It's time to get into truth frequency. At this point, let me tell you something. It's not about hurting people's feelings anymore. Because if you're just telling the truth, it don't have anything to do with anybody else. It doesn't have anything to do with a brown man, a white man, an Asian woman, a white woman. It doesn't have anything to do with them. Nothing. This is not about talking trash about anybody, about bashing. It don't have anything to do with that. The truth is going to be the truth, and either people are going to accept it or they're not going to accept it, because it's time to get in the truth frequency. It's time to get into a frequency of truth. And honestly, a lot of this stuff you might not be able to find in books, but as far as the Holy Spirit and who the brown woman really is and who the Christ is, you probably will find that in the book. If you're interested in knowing the truth, you probably will find it in several books. But that's why I'm saying it's so important for brown women not to just turn their back on just throw in the baby with the bathwater. They throwing out the baby with the bathwater. As much as Bobby Hemmett, he's talked against Christianity a little bit, but Bobby Hemmett has talked against the religion of Christianity. The religion of Christianity will keep you bound. That's why I'm not a Christian, because the religion of Christianity will keep you bound. The religion of Christianity wants to control you and it will keep you low in consciousness. But the authentic spirit of it all will set you free. You might not be free like tomorrow or the next day because it's a process. Okay? Bobby Hemmett talks about Khalid Muhammad, about how when Khalid Muhammad was talking about getting rid of the Bible and all of that stuff. You know, Khalid Muhammad, with that name, I'm sure that he might have been a Muslim. But he talked about the Bible and and stuff like that. And Bobby Hemmett talked about how Khalid Muhammad should not have thrown out the baby with the bathwater. So that's why I'm saying Bobby Hemmett wasn't completely against the Bible either. He was more against the religion of Christianity. He was more against keeping people low in consciousness. But he wasn't against the actual power of the Spirit. He wasn't against that at all. But this is not about defending him. I'm just talking about what other people have talked about. Just like don't just turn loose the Holy Spirit and the Bible and the fruits of the Spirit and turn loose. Like God does not give a spirit of fear, but the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. Those are real spirits. So you get rid of the spirits, the fruits of the Spirit. You just relinquish all the fruits because of the religion of Christianity had people so backwards. Because of religion, you just not. When I say you, I'm speaking in general. I'm not talking about people who are actually listening. I speak in general when I say you. So because the religion of Christianity had people so backwards, then you turn loose the fruits of the Spirit. You let go of faith. That is a strong spirit that when people are going to really need that in the upcoming time, faith is going to be very important. Now, faith has been important for some people already, but I'm talking about as a collective, faith is going to be what's going to be needed in upcoming events. Faith is going to be what you need. You're going to need love too, but you're going to need faith. And I'm going to tell you something. I know, and I've even been seeing it in my visions too. I keep saying love. Love is important. Yeah, it's important. But I do remember the Bible saying without faith, it's impossible to please God. You can have love, but I read without faith, it's impossible to please God. So now I feel like faith is going to be important to have. I feel like faith casts out a lot of other stuff that's not supposed to be inside of you. Like when you have faith, you don't have to worry about releasing doubt and releasing all this other stuff and do stuff one by one. I think faith is going to just cast it all out when your faith is strong. I think it automatically cancels all that other stuff out. It might just cancel out poverty too. That's what I'm saying. See, right now people are focusing on things one by one by one by one by one by one. And it's like it takes up your whole day. I feel like when faith is built up strong, a lot of that other stuff that's not aligned with the that's not divinely aligned, a lot of that stuff is already going to be cast out when faith is going to be strong. When faith is strong. But because a lot of brown women are told to just turn away completely, they leave all those things behind, and they're leaving behind who they really are. They're leaving behind who they really are. Okay? But I didn't have much to say besides you have people, a lot of brown women have been messed up in the church because they've had a pastor or somebody else over the church that didn't have a good spirit on them. But I would not just turn away from the Holy Bible. I would not just turn away from it. Okay? And I'm not against tarot card reading and all that stuff, but a lot of brown women turned against the Holy Spirit and turned against all that stuff for tarot card reading and for their ancestors. And your ancestors, your true ancestors should be outside the firmament. Your ancestors should have ascended already. I don't want to mess with ancestors who have not ascended. To be honest with you, this being a lower vibration, I have to do extra work on myself to get to a vibration where I can actually reach those who are above a certain, above the firmament. So I don't want to too much, no, you know, another thing about the ancestors, I heard somebody talk about how they saw Tyler Perry's ancestors, how he has a lot of ancestors that has his back, like he has a lot of ancestors. And I believe when you get into certain positions of power, like listen to Bill Winston, right? Bill Winston is a pastor at the Living Word Christian Church in Forest Park, Illinois. Okay, Bill Winston. He was talking about when he got into what he's doing right now, pastor in a big church like he is, he had more angels assigned to him, right? When you're like living a regular life, you already have angels. You have to act. That's another thing. Brown women, a lot of them have not activated their angels. Like they're leaving so much behind because the religion of Christianity has put such a bad taste in people's mouths that they have turned their back on their inheritance. They have turned their back on their inheritance. We're supposed to activate our angels. And a lot of us have not activated our angels. And we go to the ancestors when we have angels. Like I'm not putting down the ancestors. Here's what I'm going to go with Tyler Perry. So just how Bill Winston said he had those angels because of his position, he has more angels assigned to him. The same thing with Tyler Perry. Because of his position, he has some powerful entities, some powerful underworld entities and ancestors that walk with him. Here's what I got to say about that. Why don't these ancestors care what he's doing to people? Why don't they care? This is what I'm talking about. I'm not for the ancestors like that. Why? And this is just one example. Tyler Perry is just one example of many. Another person said they saw Will Smith had a lot of ancestors, right? When people get in those kind of positions, they have some powerful ancestors. But the problem is, why don't they ancestors care how they are treating people? The Will Smith, I don't know what he did to folks, but a lot of stuff is coming out about Tyler Perry, right? Why don't their ancestors care? Their ancestors are protecting them while they are hurting other people. Why don't their ancestors stop them? This is why I don't deal with ancestors. A lot of ancestors are evil as hell. They evil. Now some angels are evil too. Like you got some angels that's messed. They listen. I know that too. But you have angels that's helping you to rise up too. That's helping you to ascend or whatever. Okay. So I just want to talk about that really quickly. But I'm really on this AI stuff. I'm not against AI. I use GPS. Okay, I look at Google and stuff when I try to Google information. So I get that you still using AI with that too. The point I'm making is that I'm not against it, but I'm also not telling people what they should not believe in. How you gonna tell somebody to leave the Bible alone altogether when you tell them to do that? Because the Holy Spirit is kind of connected to the Bible. Now, when you rise up in frequency and you get more enlightened, you're going to realize there's going to be other things to learn, and the Bible is just going to be something that was used for this particular realm right here. But you're going to get access to other information too. But right now, a lot of brown women, know the Holy Spirit through the Bible. And they're being told by a lot of people in general, but especially a lot of brown women, to turn their back on it. Really, I'm going to be honest with you. It's really a lot of millennials and Gen Zs. It's like millennials that's born in the mid 80s and Gen Zs. Because you ain't find no older woman that's past the age of 50. I don't care what she doing with her life. I don't care what she doing with her life. I don't care if she on drugs. I don't care what she's doing with her life. You're going to hardly find any of them that's actually experienced the power. You're not going to find many of them telling you to turn you. You might find a few, but you're not going to find too many of them. Even Cindy Trim and all of them, I can tell that they are probably, Cindy Trim could have been the Sybil's. I can tell that she was some kind of something powerful before patriarchy. But she understands that the Bible and the Holy Spirit and Christianity is still connected to the brown woman and not the white man. See, men make a religion to probably control women, but originally, it was the brown woman. Okay, and it's really the fault of the brown woman for allowing their sons to run amok like this. I mean, the truth is just going to have to be the truth. Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say just really quickly is like, yeah, leave this stuff alone because, nobody needs to be telling you what you should not believe in, but they turn around and ask Chat GPT. And I see if you ask one or two questions, some of these ladies depend on Chat GPT. They feel like every time they have a question, they ask Chat GPT, they feel like it's accurate. So they tell you to leave one thing alone and call you mentally ill. But then they completely depend on Chat GPT. Which I do believe Chat GPT is accurate, but Chat GPT is getting this information from other human beings that have already done the work. Okay? They're getting their information from the information that's already been put out there. That's what Chat GPT is using. Information that's already been put out there. But other human beings. It doesn't have access. I don't feel like it has access to the Holy Spirit like that. So it can't give you the mysteries. The Holy Spirit can, though, but brown women are told to turn their back on that. But anyway, I just feel like talking about that really quickly, and I will talk to you later.